previous video, we understood about the limitations of the legacy network firewall or the traditional network firewall, right? So in this video, let's understand about or let's have an introduction to the next generation firewall, and also let's understand about the advantages of using a next generation firewall on a very high level. Okay, this is just an overview. In upcoming videos, we'll be understanding about the same in practically. All right. Fine. So first of all, what is a next generation firewall? A next generation firewall is an advanced network security device that goes beyond your traditional firewalls by incorporating additional features to protect against your modern threats. So when you say next generation firewalls, it has all the features that the traditional network firewall has. Okay, it works in the similar procedure. However, it has an additional features that's incorporated to it, which helps us to protect against the modern threats. So the key characteristics of the next generation firewall are following. Like the very first one is a deep packet inspection, because if you remember, the legacy network firewall or the traditional network firewall works only on layer 3 and layer 4. Like you'll be defining the source IP address, destination IP address, and the destination port number, right? However, the next generation firewall works till layer 7, so it can perform all this following features. Okay, the first one is deep packet inspection. In a short, we refer it as like DPI. It analyzes the data within a packet for more sophisticated threat detection. See, in the legacy firewall, it only works till layer 3 and 4, right? But here it analyzes the data that's within a packet also, okay, to understand is there is any threat or not, is there is any threat that is passing in that packet. All right, fine. So in application awareness and control, this is also very important. Like though we have multiple features in using the next generation firewall, there are three primary features. One is application control, um, then user identification, then content identification. Like all the generation firewalls focuses on these three primary things. Okay, so we'll be discussing about each and every features in detail with an hands-on understanding in the upcoming videos. This is just an overview. All right. So application awareness and control. What does it mean? Like as I said earlier, like in the legacy firewall, you just give only the source address, destination address, and the port number, right? However, uh, in the next generation firewall, you can also define a security policy by which you can uh, you can either allow a traffic towards one specific application or you can deny it. Like you can basically draft a security policy, you can basically enforce a security policy that's specific to particular application. For an example, if your employer, like if your company, if your organization doesn't want their employees or it doesn't want their users to, or employees to access to any social media networking during the shift hours, then you can write a security policy to block a traffic to social media. Okay, like also specifically, even specifically, if you want to block all the traffic only towards Facebook, that also possible. Okay, this feature is not available in the traditional firewall, but this is available in the next generation firewall. I said it's not only limited to social media or Facebook, to any application, any known application. Like it works based on a signature. Like so, you can define that application and you can write a security policy either to allow traffic towards it or you can deny it. Okay, so this is what application control we refer here, and IPS, that is intrusion prevention system. It monitors the network traffic in the real time to see if there is any suspicious or a malicious activity that's happening, and based on that, it will allow you take actions based on it. Okay, and then advanced threat protection. It offers features like sandboxing to analyze a suspicious file in a safe and secure environment. All right, and then user identity management. If you remember, like I talked about three important features of next gen firewall. One is application control that we already seen, and the second one is user identification, and the third one is like content identification. Okay, so this is what user identification means. Like, what is user identification? Say for example, I'm just repeating, like in the legacy firewall, you can only write a policy based on IP address and port, right? However, here you can write policy based on specific user. Just consider that, for an example, there is some X person, maybe a person named Shiva, and you want to provide an internet access only to him, or you or you can just put in this direction also. Just consider that the person Shiva is an HR executive in your organization, and he want to access to LinkedIn or any other job portal, to recruit candidate to your organization. So uh, one, you want to write a security policy in such a way that only that particular person should have an access to any job searching portal, or any destination that is related to this job portal, like LinkedIn, a Naukri, or whatever it is. Okay, or just consider that you have a CEO in your company, and in general, like, you have restricted internet to everyone, but however, you want to only for your CEO, you want to give full access. Okay, it's possible. Okay, this is what we refer it as like user identification. Okay, so you can write a policy based on that, like, to which user, to which access should be given. Okay, this is what user identification, basically a policy based on a user. All right. SSL inspection. Okay, so SSL inspection means, w- w- in general, as you know, SSL traffic is an encrypted traffic, right? So, but there are a lot of possibilities where even in that encrypted channel, even in the encrypted connection, there is a possibility that you would get a malicious script or a malicious content or a threat that is coming into your trusted network. Maybe just consider an example that you are trying to access any destination. Okay, a web application in the internet, and it's a trusted destination. Okay, so you are using it for a long time. Unfortunately, yesterday night it was compromised by some malicious user or some attacker, and he had or have written some script in that server, so that if anyone who accessing to that particular application, the web server, that script is also getting injected to that particular machine. Okay, just I'm putting an example. So even in that case, like, if you're initiating an HTTPS traffic towards the destination, there is a possibility that you would get that malicious content or a threat even within your encrypted connection. So it doesn't mean that if it is an encrypted connection, it is purely safe and secure, right? Yes, of course, in some context it is true, but there are a lot of other ways also to achieve it, right? So there is a chance you would get that malicious threat, or infected content that's coming over your encrypted connection towards you, right? In order to prevent that, the next generation firewall can decrypt that encrypted connection. It would perform a scanning, like it would inspect that connection, and if there is something like, if there is any malicious content that's coming, it would drop it. Okay, and if there is nothing malicious and everything is seems to be perfect, then it would again encrypt it, send it back. So this is one of the beautiful feature. We'll be seeing everything, like all the other features, we'll be seeing practically in our lab. uh, okay, fine. So on high level, this is what SSL inspection means. In general, you cannot decrypt the SSL connection, right? But the next gen firewall can decrypt your SSL connection, will inspect that data, and then if it find anything malicious, it would drop the packet there itself. If everything seems to be okay, then it will allow to pass in. Then integration with threat intelligence. So it incorporates with the real-time data from threat intelligence feeds to identify emerging threats. Like any new threats it's identified, you can immediately get an update. All right. So improved security postures, better defense against advanced threats like malware, ransomware, and data breaches. I said, like, The third important feature is content identification. I said right. That's into more into security profiles. Like you can just check if there is any malware that is passing, if there is any virus, or if there is any infected content. Okay, so like that you can do a deep inspections. All right. So these are all a few advantages of using a next gen firewall. As said, though we have, this is not limited only this. We have few more multiple advantages of using a next gen firewall. However, the three important thing is the first one is about application control awareness. Okay, it can identify your application and you can write policies based on your application. And user identification, like you can create a policy based on specific user. Okay, for user X you can write one policy, for user Y you can define some other policy, like that. And then content identification, like even though if traffic is going, you can still check is there is any malicious content that's in passing in, like if there is any malware, if there is any virus, if there is any spyware that's going on. Okay, fine. So these are the three important or primary features of a next gen firewall. Overall, the next-gen firewall provides a more comprehensive security solution by enabling the organization to better protect their network from a wide range of cyber threats. All right. So in the upcoming video, let's understand more in detail about the next generation firewall, and we'll be exploring about all the topics with a hands-on understanding.